there's another key element, which I am more and more and more convinced of, that it's a huge part of headaches and migraines, and that's habit. It literally becomes a habit.
Each and every one of us is a legend. We have a story to tell, a world to build. And if you're here because you are done just striving to make a dollar, because you want to make a difference, then you are in the right place. Welcome to Legend Maker Radio, a Legend Maker Global podcast. Welcome to this week's episode of Legend Maker Radio. I am here with Barbara, and I'm going to let her give you her last name because it's amazing and I don't want to butcher it. And she's going to also tell us a little bit about what she does, because she is a legend in what she's doing. And I'm so excited for you to understand how this works. Go ahead, Barbara, tell us your last name, please.
Hey, Tanya. Thank you so much for having me here. My last name is Soltesz.
See, it's so beautiful and it's so easy, and I still would mess it up. I'm sorry.
Well, no worries. So I'm very excited being here with you today. And well, what makes my heart beat faster is helping people who are suffering from headache and migraines to get out of that circle, out of that vicious circle, without needing to use any medication or anything apart from themselves and a little bit of their times.
I love that, because I have watched you evolve into this work. And when this took off for you, it was like, wow, Barbara has found her space. This is like, you have so many passions, though. You have a lot of passions. And so I think when someone such as yourself has so many things they love, it's really hard to find that audience. But when you hit on people's headaches, people just want relief. Like, I am so tired of taking Panadol, or I'm tired of taking a Tylenol. I want to just be free. So how do you help them? What is the crux in what you do?
Yes, I do have a lot of passions, but this is something which I know is so crucial for people to get rid of and to let go of. Well, what I did is, first of all, I've been suffering for 33 years from headaches and migraines myself. So wow. I know the ins and outs of what can you do, what is available to heal your headaches and migraines, or at least manage them, what works and what did not work for me at all. So in all these years, I tried everything I could get hold of to make my headaches and migraines go away, because it is really, really terrible when your life is circling around this one subject. Will I wake up today with a headache, which will make it impossible for me to finish up all the things I want to do, and
to be there for your kids?
Yes, of course. That was, to me, actually, after about 29 years of suffering, that was the point when I really felt like, okay, this cannot go on like this anymore. When you hear your partner repetitively asking your children to shh, don't run around, don't do this noisy thing, don't play on the piano, don't do this, don't do that, because mama has a headache. And this is just like the most devastating thing to hear. Your children cannot be children, that they cannot play, that they cannot do whatever the heck they want to do. Okay, within limits.
You're right.
what they would like to do, because they need to tiptoe around you because you're suffering once again. So that was a moment when I thought, okay, this just cannot go like this anymore. And the problem I faced with, and actually a lot of people were suffering with headaches for a longer period of time, is that the medication, the pills, the drug don't work anymore. Like, there is a moment when it doesn't make any difference if you're taking something or if you don't. And of course you do have the hope. If I take this new pill, and if I take this injection, and if I take this and that, that will help. But there's a point when nothing really helps.
It all stops. Did you ever do the injection stuff that you just mentioned? Did you have to do that?
Well, I didn't do at the end, because I was too afraid to be hooked totally on something outside of my control. So that was basically the only thing I said no. And also, I just don't um, it's a kind of gamble for me to hope that it will prevent something.
Mm-hmm.
And I know if you believe in it, it probably does help to you. But I just thought like, okay, I cannot fully decide if it will be my belief which will help me or if it will be actually the drug. And when you read the side effects of these injections and all the medications, like you just don't want to do it.
Right.
Like, oh no, thank you. I will have to find another way.
Right. Sometimes the side effects are as bad or worse than the problem that you're suffering with. So when you woke up and you had that revelation, what was like your next step? What, like, did you automatically decide that this is the thing I'm going to try? And and then you did it and then it worked? Or did you go through some practices before you landed on what did work? Does that make sense?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yes, I did. I did a lot of things. So first of all these 32 years, but especially this 28 years, what I've been doing is I've been trying to adjust my diet. That's also something I would suggest to everyone, to just observe what you're taking in, what you're eating, how is your diet built up. So I tried all the extremes from vegan to vegetarian, then to the extreme paleo and meat eater. I was trying to do lactose-free, gluten-free, like all sort of things which I thought could maybe help. Although the diets weren't helping me, but being gluten-free was making a huge difference with the other symptoms, which are after time developing together with a headache. For me, that was upset stomach and nausea. So the gluten was helping a lot of, taking gluten out of the diet was helping me in many ways. And I just heard since I did that a kind of amazing stories about what gluten can really do with your system in the bad way. So that would already be something I would suggest to people just to try out. Then of course, being well hydrated, that's something which everybody needs to look after, and especially if someone experiences headache in any moment in time, taking like a big sip of water, like at least 2 to 4 deciliter water at one, or I don't know how many ounces is that, but just take like a big amount of water to help you hydrate yourself again. Otherwise, of course, whenever you're drinking alcohol or caffeine, it is important that you also just drink extra water with it. Now, unfortunately, you need to take care of your sugar intake and chocolates, which is like a super hard thing to do living in Belgium.
Right.
Not easy. But anyways, chocolate can make headaches and all kind of sweets much worse than they should be. Yeah, besides of the food, there's also other lifestyle related things which are affecting the headaches. Sleep, of course, is one of the biggies. If you don't sleep enough, the likelihood that you will develop headaches and migraines the day after the coming days is just much bigger. How much time you spend in front of screens, that also affects big time your headaches, your eyesight, your posture, how you sit, how you stand, how you walk, how you do your things. I'm also a yoga teacher, and so I see very fast in people who are coming to me, if in their headaches and their migraines, the postural issues could be also in play. Now, besides of these things, there is something which is very popular to talk about, trauma and healing your traumas. But what I would rather say is just to see how is it going with you on the inside. Are you in balance with yourself? Have you had the chance and the time and the possibility to work on yourself and on your issues? I find that is really, really a big part of people developing recurring headaches and migraines. And I also had to crack my issues in order to be able to let go of the headaches. And then there's the fourth biggie is stress. How much stress do you have in your life, and how could you manage these stressors and triggers so that the headaches are not starting on?
Well, so go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry. So these were the areas which I was trying to work on before I even got to the point of deciding, okay, this is still not enough, and then trying all kind of things, all kind of movement methods, all kind of massages, acupuncture, acupressure, like everything I could, this kind of thing, in the piercing in the ear, which is also, I met with people who said it was really working at the beginning and it was really making a huge difference, but then something happened the next time they were putting it in. It was maybe a millimeter away from the right point, and then it just doesn't do anything for you anymore. So the problem is that all of these things which I have tried and which many others were trying are working for a while until they don't.
Right.
And then you really need to just have like an integrated approach, and that's why I say throw everything at it. You really need to manage your headaches and migraines. You need to throw everything at it.
Do it all.
I'm close to that list of everything now in in my possession to help people getting out of headaches and migraines on the other side and just enjoying freedom and life and all the good things which you can do again once you not need to suffer or fear when is the next time your headache is gonna come.
I love that. I love that you've done all of this deep work to uncover. So people don't always, obviously they don't have the same symptoms. How can they know if what they're suffering with is an indication of an actual like physical thing that they have to see a doctor for, not necessarily, or that they need to see a different doctor because they're not getting the result? Like how do you determine that?
Yeah, so there are two basic types of headaches and migraines. The first one is called primary, which has no other sickness or other problems or issues in the background. That is just a pure headache, and actually 90% of the headaches are belonging to this category. So there is no physical or any other serious illness in the background. I was also in this category because I went through all the checkups and I wanted to also see if there's nothing wrong in my head, there is nothing wrong in my body, which could be like triggering or making these headaches wanting to tell me something. So I would say to everyone, go and get the checkups done. Make sure that there's nothing really seriously wrong with you. And then if the answer is no, everything seems to be okay, like there's no physical issue or indication that the headache could be the reason or the result of something else, then look a little deeper.
Do you find that like there tends to be one culprit more than the other, or a group, or a handful of causes more than another?
Well, I think this four which I mentioned, so the lifestyle, the stress, the unresolved situations, issues, traumas in your life. No, and the fourth, I didn't mention it actually, that's complexity, because sometimes there are other kind of problems, just as we talked about, and not necessarily serious illnesses, but other kind of little things, and just the combination of all of these is resulting in a headache. So then it is important that the other issues are managed appropriately with the doctor, and these other three we can take care of together.
So when they have, if complexity is not part of the picture, when you've got the lifestyle and stress and the other in check, how long does it take in order for a sufferer to no longer So,
Okay, so it greatly depends how much time have you been already suffering from headaches and migraines. Why? Because there is another key element, which I am more and more and more convinced of, that it's a huge part of headaches and migraines, and that's habit. It literally becomes a habit of having headaches. And like every habit, even the bad ones, they have some benefits. And that's what we can discover also. It is oftentimes the benefit is that when you're having a headache, then you have a timeout because you literally can't do anything. Like the only, a migraine is even worse because then you're like not able to move on or to continue the activities you've been doing. So that's actually a timeout functionality inbuilt as a benefit in headaches and migraines, but there could be other things also. So it's important to also review in yourself, okay, in what way is that serving me? Because sometimes it is interesting, but let's say it's not serving you, but still became a habit, or you don't know in what way it serves you, but it still became a habit. What I discovered is that if we are having a better habit to install, and the exercise, the method I developed is a better habit than the headache. So back to your original question, I have people who've been suffering from 30, one lady 40 years, ever since she was a little girl. She had been experiencing headaches and migraines episodes, and typically what happens is in the beginning these are just headaches, and then they are the heavier headaches, and then they're quite debilitating headaches, and then they become migraines, and then so it's like getting worse. That was my own personal experience as well, and many of the people's experience who were coming to me up until now. It's getting worse. So when you're suffering for 40 years, then it may take a few months until you can, just get hold of the headache and the migraine and eradicate it from your life. Now, I had someone coming to me a few months ago who had been in her 14th day of a migraine attack.
Wow.
That's no fun, huh?
No.
With having already headaches for the past 10 years. And for her, it took about 3.5 months to get rid of all of her headaches, to have the capacity, because what the method is doing is that you will have the capacity to stop your headaches. Then you will have the capacity to make, first step, to make your headache less intense. Second stage, stop any headaches or even migraines which are developing. In the third step, or in the third level, so to say, you are able to make the headaches come fewer and fewer and fewer times. And in the fourth step, you prevent your headaches.
That's awesome. And so it's almost like you're weaning yourself. This is like removing yourself step by step from the catalyst or whatever. So do you find that like there are people that come to you and then they look at your method or at your solutions and say that I can't do that, I'll just suffer with the headaches?
Yeah, these are people who are actually not ready, where the benefits of having a headache is just bigger than wanting to change it.
Because some people, you tell them no more,
freedom back. Yeah,
they want to, they'd rather have the sugar and the gluten and the stuff and keep the headache than to just learn how to adjust to a new, because what I find is it's really, well, I know here in the States, I don't know about in other parts of the world, but here, like changing diet is, it's tremendously hard for many people who are raised around food being the bond, you know what I mean? Or like the reminder, and there's so much stuff in our food here that I think is not in the other parts of the world, the additives and the preservatives. So I can see people here being like, I'm not going to take the sugar out of my coffee, or I'm not going to stop drinking coffee, or I'm not going to switch to decaf or whatever, because I would just rather deal with the thing. But in that situation, how would you approach someone who did want to do it, but then felt like that really, like, do you go through healings with them, like healing addiction to food or eating or whatever, in order to get to the method? Like, do you do like a pre-work kind of thing?
Yeah, we have actually, the method consists of coachings and doing the exercise daily.
Okay.
I ask people to do it for 22 days. That is the kind of minimum to experience the effects and to experience how the headaches are not coming back, how the headaches are not developing, how they are becoming less and less present in their lives. Back to what you were saying about food and fooding is it's not obligatory that you're changing your lifestyle in the sense that you cannot eat any more chocolate or that you cannot eat any more glutens. It is just a suggestion to try that, because every bit helps, and that's why I say throw everything at it. But I do have people who didn't, even here in Europe, who didn't change their diet. They say, no, you know what, I just rather, let's see how it works with not changing anything whatsoever. And
and does it work that way?
It does, because it is the routine our brain and our whole system learns through repetition. It's the habit. It's spending specific time on yourself. It is just being a little bit more aware of things. And then maybe gradually we'll see, actually eating a lot of sugar or eating, I don't know, like going into Burger King or McDonald's or any kind of fast food place. It's fast, but maybe it's best if I just do that hamburger at home. So it's these little switches, and the more these switches you can use, the more you would be willing to put into your day-to-day life, the faster you can.
Right. So if somebody wanted to go like all out, then they would go with those lifestyle changes like immediately, and then and also applying your method on top of those lifestyle changes, and then like that's when they get the faster results, so to speak.
It's just my belief, actually, that I think they do get a faster result. But if they are okay of keeping the lifestyle as it is, but still wanting to do something for themselves, I think they're also going to reach the results like the people here who were not really doing anything different. Yeah.
Right. So you help people resolve their migraine issues and the headache issues that they have been living with for decades, literal decades. There's also another segment of the population that you enjoy working with. Can you tell us a little bit about who they are and what you do with them?
Yes. I am totally and utterly in love with pregnant ladies and with ladies with newborn babies. So I do work with them as a doula, as a birthing doula. And before and after that, I do give pregnancy yoga and baby mama yoga classes. So that's the other area which makes me so excited, and which I could do anytime. Even if nobody will pay anything from me, I would be still doing that.
That is a true passion project.
Yeah, that's a true passion project, because I am so convinced that if we will have mamas, pregnant ladies who are feeling good, who are mentally, emotionally, physically, energetically balanced, then, and this is how they are going to give birth, with all the trust and with all the self-confidence and with all the knowing that their body has been made for this, that they have the strength, that they have everything coded into them. Generations and generations and generations of women been doing that before them. So this knowledge is in every cell of their beings. if the more ladies are aware of this power they have, I think the more children will come into this world in a natural way without a lot of interventions, and the more these babies and these mamas and the papas and the families will be in a better, in a more balanced and happy state, and this is how the new generations could grow up, I think we would live in a very, very different world.
I love that. And because like there is so much lacking in when it comes to support of pregnant women and the whole process, even before the giving birth part, right? Like if like maybe that's something you could do, come up with some sort of program for these women who need a nurturing approach, like what you just so beautifully demonstrated, because so much would change if women had the support that they needed to heal themselves, be, balanced prior to even, giving birth. And wow, what a difference things would make, because think of all the trauma that we would not be passing on to the kids, right? Exactly. So I love that you feel so passionately about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And just here, since I live in Belgium, in the past 2 years, I've been working with more than 200 ladies who were expecting a baby or coming back with their babies. And every week we meet up for about an hour and a half, and we talk, they talk and they share, and there's a place where they can talk about all the little annoying things which are coming on in pregnancies, like that's pretty normal. And all the things they are afraid of sharing with their partner because they don't want to make their partner worried. All the things they don't want to tell to their mother for the very same reason. Maybe they are chatting with their girlfriends, but if they are not expecting a baby, then they won't get it. They won't really understand. So I just feel like it's such a need for being heard, for being able to share what's going on, and to just get this. Sometimes the heaviness, because pregnancy is beautiful, but not all the time. And there's so many things going on in our minds, into all sort of directions. And I find it is very, very healing, very, very nurturing, very holding space for these ladies. That's just something I find really, really important.
200 women in 200 years, in 2 years. 200 years.
Yeah, okay, 2.5 years, yes.
That's phenomenal. And so if you could, if there were something you could say, or how can you let her know, or let a soon-to-be mother know that you're there, and her, if she's apprehensive, you know what I mean? She's like, it's not going to work for me. I don't this doesn't mean anything for me. How would you convince them or persuade them? How would you market?
Well, the thing is that it's probably not the answer you're looking for, but I don't market. They are coming.
But they know you. They know you're there. So how do they know you're there?
Because they talk to each other. I live in a relatively small town, and they are telling to their friends and to people they know, okay, do you want to go and do something which will make you feel good, like expecting a baby? And I'm also in touch with the midwives, so they are helping me to just to spread the word. I work in a place of which is run by midwives, so from there the clients are coming. But I would just ask any pregnant lady, how do they feel? And anybody who says, I feel totally confident I feel absolutely ready for everything which is in front of me. I feel and I know that I'm meant to do this, then I would say you're amazing. Go on.
Right.
But anybody who is not telling the story along these lines, I would invite them to just come along once and
just
take
one
a look. Yeah, just take a look and see how it feels.
So I envision you beginning this worldwide program where you certify other doulas to do what you're doing and to be that, like, that would just, can you imagine having a global effect on such a powerful segment of the population? The children. How, like, imagine. Think about it. Just think about it. Put it in a process. Let people get certified. Show them how to do it. And let's change the generations that are coming. And it's like, because there's so little support and there's so much demand, right? It's terrifying for somebody who's not in that space of, oh, I'm perfectly ready. If somebody had said to me, how do you feel? My first time, I was destroyed. Like I was out of it, right? Anyway, just think about that, legend maker. But I love that that's such a deep passion for you, and it's plainly evident that you bring all of yourself to that work. So thank you for that. Thank you for being such a nurturing soul for people who need so much. And 200 clients is mind-blowing in 2.5 years. So good for you. May all of those women in Belgium find you and have the blessing of your work behind them, and all the babies.
Oh, thank you so much for these amazingly kind words. And yeah, there are a lot of ladies who are supporting expecting mamas, a lot of doulas all around, but I think there is still space to let ladies know that how amazing they are and how amazing nature is, and that how nice this whole experience can be. And not only the second time around, or the third time, or the fourth time, absolutely at the first time around, because that's the portal, right? Second time around, you have already all the experience. You know what's there. You could still feel less than optimal time to time, and it's just so nice to be able to help people. Can
you do that work online? Like, is that possible?
Well, the movement part of the work, I prefer to do that in person, because pregnant ladies are just too precious for me. I really want to make sure that I know and I see what they do and how they do it.
Make sure they're being safe. They're making safe movements.
Yeah, well, the movements are pretty safe, but I just like being with them, holding space for them. But online, I worked also with many ladies already. Then we are really extra careful and are really taking enough time for a very thorough explanation, because then the visual check is not intense. But these are totally safe movements. It's just my personal preference that I love being around these ladies.
I love that. I love that. That's so cool.
But I will think about your suggestion and your vision, because I would be just the happiest person in this whole entire universe if I could help 1,000 people to have their headaches and migraines go, and if I could help as many ladies as possible to experience their pregnancies in a different state of
blissful motherhood.
Yeah, beautiful.
Wow. That is very cool. Do you have any parting words for the audience? if they are struggling with the migraines? Is it to go back to the lifestyle, check yourself with your lifestyle, check yourself with the healing, or you have other suggestions for them as well?
Well, what I would start with is checking their lifestyle, as you say, checking their stress levels, checking their unresolved issues with themselves or with their surroundings, see what is the benefit of having headaches and migraines in their lives, and also just make a decision. Can you go on like this for another month, a year, or decade? Or what are the chances that it will go away? Like, for instance, when I was expecting my children, I thought, wow, now that my body is changing totally, and every single cell of my being will be different, and my whole life will be different, probably the headaches will go away, right? Because it's a hormonal. And so I was really, really optimistic. And it's true, everything in my life changed. Like, there's nothing which did not change or get affected by becoming a mother. Unfortunately, the only thing which remained were the headaches. So that's like, if they are recurring, ongoing, they don't go away, you take those pills, you don't even want to read what is in the side effect list, which actually most of the pills you can take over the counter. Mm-hmm. If you read the side effects, the first side effect is headache. So a headache medication causes headache. Nice. I mean, it has to make recurring clients, right? This is like a solid customer base. So if you had enough of all of that stuff, then, and if you're ready to discover how life was, if you can even remember, or how you would like life to be without having headaches and migraines, then I would suggest to everyone reach out, and I hope I will be able to give you a few ideas and suggestions, and if you decide to work with it, then definitely a solution to get your headaches and migraines go where they belong, into your past.
I love it. And where can they find you if they want to reach out?
Well, I think the best is if they contacted me via social media, Facebook, Barbara Soltesz, they can find me, or under medication-free headache management. That's the name of the method.
Wow. Medication-free headache. Medication-free headache management. Right? Yes. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. I deeply appreciate you bringing your passions to the table today. What an opportunity it was to understand what life can be like without migraines and without medication. I thank you, and I appreciate you so much today, Barbara. I appreciate you every day. I don't appreciate you today.
Thank you so much, Tanya, for giving me this opportunity to talk about these things with you. It was an absolute honor and joy having you and seeing you again. It was good to see you again. Take care. And that brings us to the end of another Legend Maker Radio episode. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope it was valuable. I trust that you are feeling lit and on fire for your purpose, and that you are ready to continue on your path. And if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe to Legend Maker Radio so you never miss an episode filled with wisdom to help you change your world and build your legend. Thanks for tuning in today. I'm your host, Tanya Datta, signing off with a reminder that together we can rebuild the world.